I just like, you had some funny bars in the whole thing that I just kind
I ain't on that,
of
bro.
wonder
You
if it
trying
was
to
serious or
spark the
not.
shit back up.
Nah, we
I ain't on that.
Nah, we fuck with
You
Moneybagg
ain't
too.
talking about
You
that.
can tell me if I'm wrong. It seemed like it was a personal reason why you took a break.
I was going through something. I had to get my mind right. I had lost a close friend, really.
What's good, gang? Your boy is back with another explosive breakdown, and today we're diving headfirst into Memphis street politics that just went from cold to straight up dangerous. No exaggeration, no cap. We're talking about how PTI just lobbed a grenade into what everyone thought was a long dead situation between his day one brother, Big 30, and Moneybagg Yo. Folks thought it was quiet. Turns out it was just loading. Things really popped off when Pooh Shiesty dropped a bar on his new track that had the whole city buzzing. He rapped, "I heard street dudes getting tummy tucks. Told you these rappers lame." And if you know Memphis like that, you already know exactly who that line was aimed at. This wasn't slick talk or random bars, this was direct pressure. And once that line hit the streets, people started whispering that this situation could spiral fast and get real ugly. Now let's slow it down and really unpack this, because this story didn't start overnight. We gotta trace the whole timeline, from how Big 30 first linked up with Moneybagg, to how that tight brotherhood cracked, collapsed, and turned into raw tension. And now, with Pooh Shiesty lighting the fuse, that old smoke is back in the air, thicker than ever. This ain't just rap drama anymore. This is real-life street conflict wrapped in music, and that makes it way more serious. To understand how it reached this point, we gotta rewind to the beginning, when Big 30 was just another hungry kid from South Memphis trying to escape a rough environment and build something bigger. Big 30, born Rodney Wright, came up around the Killer Switch bitch gang, known as KSBG, holding weight on the South Side. From early on, people said he moved different, acted different, and carried himself with pressure. School never really clicked for him, bouncing around and struggling to stay focused, and before long, the streets pulled him in heavier than anything else. That's when he locked in with his childhood friend, Pooh Shiesty. Together, along with Lil Hank and Choppa WP, they built what would later be known as Choppa Gang, a crew that wasn't just about music, but loyalty, reputation, and survival. And trust me, this is only the start of how things went left. These weren't just regular young dudes, gang. They were already ringing bells all across South Memphis, building a reputation as one of the most feared crews moving around the area. Everywhere their name popped up, tension followed. Big 30 wasn't just talking. His name itself was a nod to his favorite tool, and people in the city knew exactly what that meant. He climbed the ranks fast and earned real respect as someone you did not play with. Now here's where things start getting real interesting, because family ties always change the game. Big 30 had a cousin known as Big Nochi, and Nochi was already locked in deep with the streets and well connected all over Memphis. This wasn't some random relative. Nochi had motion, influence, and real pull behind the scenes. Big Nochi ended up being the key that opened the door between Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo's circle. At the time, Moneybagg was busy stacking his bread gang empire, looking for people who really lived what they rapped. He wasn't checking for industry-made rappers or dudes pretending. He wanted authentic street voices with real stories. Through Nochi, Moneybagg finally crossed paths with Big 30, and the chemistry was instant. Moneybagg saw it right away. This wasn't just another hungry rapper chasing clout. This was someone with certified street respect who could actually spit bars and back it up. Big 30 had that rare balance of credibility and talent that Moneybagg needed for his label. On top of that, having Big 30 and Nochi in his corner added serious protection and influence in Memphis, which mattered a lot when navigating dangerous street politics. And that alliance, it changed everything. The signing was a straight-up win-win, gang. Big 30 got the platform and tools he needed to level up his music career, while Moneybagg scored two certified street legends who could handle anything thrown their way. On paper, it looked like the perfect match, and for a while, it really was. When Big 30 officially signed the Bread Gang through CMG, things were looking smooth and unstoppable. Moneybagg didn't treat him like just another artist. He treated Big 30 like family. They were grinding together, dropping tracks, performing shows, and building something huge in Memphis hip-hop. Big 30 was on his grind hard, putting out music that racked up millions of views while also carving out his own fan base and repping Bread Gang every step of the way. Meanwhile, Big 30's connection with Pooh Shiesty was paying off big time. Shiesty was stacking his own empire under Gucci Mane's 1017 label, and together, the Choppa Gang was taking over the scene. Both Big 30 and Pooh were making major moves, and their names were buzzing all across the city. During this period, Big 30 got featured on some of Moneybagg's biggest tracks, and at the same time, Moneybagg was backing his solo hustle. The chemistry in the studio was real, and their collabs hit different because the brotherhood was genuine. But even during these peak times, there were warning signs lurking under the surface. Big 30 was still deeply tied to the streets, and no matter how much the music was blowing up, his loyalty was always split between his career and the code he lived by on the block. And that tension, it was a ticking clock waiting to blow. This moment would spark one of the biggest tensions Memphis had seen in a minute. Everything shifted on January 28, 2022, when Big Nochi was shot and killed in the Whitehaven neighborhood. This wasn't just some random street act. His death was tangled up in serious street politics that would eventually shake the Bread Gang family to its core. Big 30 explained that Nochi had been grinding for Moneybagg Yo, handling street business that Moneybagg couldn't deal with himself. Big 30 claimed that Moneybagg was under pressure, getting extorted by some local dudes, so he brought in Big 30 and Nochi as his muscle to protect him and hold it down. They weren't just friends or artists, they were his security, his street defense. The night Nochi was killed, he had just left a Big 30 show at a local high school, showing love and support like family always should. But just a few hours later, tragedy hit. Nochi was found dead, shot multiple times in the same neighborhood where he grew up. The streets were shook, and the pain hit even harder for Big 30 because of Moneybagg's reaction, or rather, the lack of it. Big 30 said Moneybagg posted some broken heart emojis online, showing some sadness over Nochi's death. But when it came time for the funeral, Moneybagg was nowhere to be seen. In Memphis street culture, that's a massive violation. Showing up for a funeral is one of the most basic signs of respect, and skipping it sent a message that Big 30 couldn't overlook. The tension was about to reach a boiling point, and the streets were watching. If you really claim someone's family, gang, you show up when they're being laid to rest. Moneybagg's absence spoke louder than words to Big 30, and it hit him hard about where loyalty really came from. After Nochi's death, the bond between Big 30 and Moneybagg started crumbling fast. Big 30 felt like they had used him and his cousin as bodyguards, but when real loyalty was needed, Moneybagg was nowhere in sight. On top of that, the business side of their relationship was hitting turbulence.
So you can tell me if I'm wrong, it seemed like it was a personal reason why you took a break.
I was going through something. I had to get my mind right. I had lost a close friend, really.
Yeah. How much did that, I mean, obviously it weighed on you a lot. That's why you took the break from music. But was it just confusing for you? Like, you just couldn't believe it happened?
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't believe it.
Big 30 felt like he wasn't getting the support he deserved from Bread Gang, and he started looking for other options. Moneybagg, on the other hand, claims Big 30 was moving behind his back, trying to lock deals with other labels without going through the proper channels. And that's where it got messy, gang, because both sides tell completely different stories. Moneybagg says Big 30 was being disloyal and trying to snake him, while Big 30 says Moneybagg was holding him back and not honoring their deal. All that tension finally exploded when Big 30 dropped the track, How Could You?, spilling all the tea and airing out his frustrations. This wasn't just another diss track. Big 30 called out Moneybagg's fake character and explained why their relationship imploded. On that track, he didn't hold anything back, blasting Moneybagg for skipping Nochi's funeral, accusing him of using them for protection, and exposing him as a street dude who talks tough but doesn't back it up. Big 30 rapped straight about how Moneybagg signed him and Nochi not because he believed in their talent, but because he needed muscle. This track made it clear the brotherhood was dead, and the streets were watching every move. Big 30 didn't hold back, gang. He claimed that Moneybagg was under serious pressure from some real street dudes and needed certified demons like him and Nochi to hold him down. But Moneybagg wasn't just going to stay quiet. He hit back hard with Airball, and trust me, this track was vicious. Moneybagg called Big 30 a straight-up snake, accusing him of trying to make moves behind his back. He said Big 30 was capping about everything, and even claimed he had done more for Big 30 than he was willing to admit. Moneybagg also spoke on the Nochi situation, but from his side of the story. He said he was hurt about Nochi's death too, but claimed Big 30 had jumped into beef that wasn't even theirs, chasing clout instead of handling real business. The most brutal moment in his response, he demanded Big 30 return his Bread Gang chain, saying Big 30 wasn't solid enough to rep the brand anymore. Big 30 wasn't about to let Moneybagg get the last word, so he went public on social media, dropping even more details about their relationship. He painted Moneybagg as a fake gangster, someone who needed protection from real street dudes. According to Big 30, Moneybagg was getting extorted by Memphis crews, which is why he started signing rappers from Big 30's hood as muscle. Big 30 called out Moneybagg for not being about that life, saying his tough guy image was all for show. He also clapped back about the jewelry, revealing that the only thing Moneybagg ever gave him was a cheap chain, which he had already paid back. This back and forth wasn't just music, it was a full-blown street and business expose. Big 30 went all the way with this one, gang. He claimed that he'd been getting money since he was 18 and never needed Moneybagg's help financially. One of the most disrespectful shots he fired was about Moneybagg pretending to be hurt over Nochi's death, posting broken heart emojis online and acting devastated, but then skipping the funeral completely. Big 30 didn't hold back, saying straight up, "We brought life to that shit, made the city respect you. My homie's gone over that lame shit, and you ain't even come to his service." But that wasn't the only thing that had the streets buzzing. One of the most talked about parts of this beef was Big 30 calling out Moneybagg over plastic surgery in his diss track. Big 30 rapped lines like, "Name a time you see me without a Glock or DRC. I work out, go lose weight. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying a doctor to redo my face." This was a direct shot at rumors that Moneybagg had gotten cosmetic procedures, liposuction, other surgeries to improve his appearance. And in street rap, that's considered soft and unmanly. Big 30 was calling him a fake pretty boy, more worried about his looks than real street credibility. Moneybagg fired back in his own track saying, "I'm calling this shit how I see it. What makes you think I'll play with my skin surgery? Y'all out of shape ass people don't even know nothing about the gym." But by then, the damage was done. The plastic surgery claims spread like wildfire, and the streets of Memphis started questioning Moneybagg's authenticity.
Do you think he really got liposuction to lose weight?
On some G shit though, I really feel like y'all playing with me because I really been saying fuck this shit. We can't go to the next question.
All right, we can move on. I just you had some funny bars in the whole thing that I just kind
I ain't on that,
of
bro.
wonder
You
if it
tryna
was serious or
spark the
not.
shit back up.
Nah, we
So I ain't on that.
Nah, we money
We
back
ain't
too.
talking about
This wasn't just a music beef anymore. It was about respect, credibility, and who really runs the streets. While all this chaos was going down between Big 30 and Moneybagg, Pooh Shiesty was locked up, fighting serious legal battles. He had been arrested in connection with a shooting and robbery in Florida and was facing heavy time. But even behind bars, his loyalty to Big 30 never wavered. These two had been day one best friends, founding members of Chopper Gang, and their bond was unbreakable. When the beef between Big 30 and Moneybagg started heating up, there was zero doubt which side Shiesty would ride for. What made it wild was that Pooh Shiesty had actually worked with Moneybagg on several tracks before all this drama erupted. They had a professional studio relationship and mutual respect, but when it came to choosing between business and day one loyalty, Shiesty didn't hesitate. He backed his homie straight from prison. Even though he couldn't physically step into the beef, Shiesty was staying updated and supporting Big 30 however he could. His influence and reputation still carried major weight across Memphis. Everyone in the streets knew that once Shiesty got out, he would have Big 30's back 100%. After months of disses, back and forth tracks, and non-stop social media drama, it started to look like Big 30 and Moneybagg might be cooling things down. Both sides stopped dropping diss tracks. The social media posts quieted, and people began to think maybe they had worked things out behind the scenes. But in Memphis, the streets know peace is temporary, and the past never fully dies. This chapter might have slowed, but the tension was still simmering under the surface. Rumors started spreading that some OG figures in Memphis had stepped in to mediate the beef, trying to get both sides to focus on the music instead of tearing each other apart. With both Big 30 and Moneybagg having real careers and loyal fan bases, it made sense to try and move past the drama for a while. And for a moment, it seemed like the peace was holding. Big 30 kept grinding on his music, and Moneybagg continued building his empire. The Memphis hip-hop scene looked like it was moving forward without the toxic energy of this feud, but anyone who really knew the streets understood that peace was fragile. Too many lines had been crossed, too many words had been said, and too much damage had been done for things to just snap back to normal. The beef might have been on pause, but it was far from dead. When Pooh Shiesty finally got released from federal prison, the entire Memphis scene was watching, waiting to see what he would do. Everyone knew Shiesty was one of the most dangerous and talented rappers in the city, and his return had the power to shake things up completely. He didn't waste a second. His first track after getting out was FDO, First Day Out, meant to celebrate his freedom and announce that he was officially back in the game. But Shiesty had more than just a celebration on his mind. His track came with a line that immediately grabbed the streets' attention, letting everyone know that the balance of power in Memphis hip-hop might just be about to change forever. I heard street dudes getting tummy tucks. Told you these rappers lame. Anyone familiar with the Big 30 and Moneybagg beef knew exactly who this line was aimed at. This was a direct shot at Moneybagg, calling back to the plastic surgery allegations Big 30 had thrown out earlier. And make no mistake, this wasn't some subtle subliminal jab. This was straight up disrespect that reignited all the old tension. Pooh Shiesty was sending a clear message. He hadn't forgotten the beef, and Moneybagg's so-called peace treaty with Big 30 didn't mean a thing to him. PTI's diss on FDO is huge for multiple reasons. First, it proves that Chopper Gang still hasn't forgiven or forgotten what went down during the original conflict. Even if Big 30 and Moneybagg agreed to stop the public drama, the underlying issues were still very much alive. Second, Shiesty's return adds a whole new level to this situation. Big 30 is talented and respected, no doubt, but Pooh Shiesty is on another plane. He's got national recognition, a deal with Gucci Mane's 1017 label, and a reputation as one of the most dangerous rappers in the game. His involvement instantly escalates everything. Third, the timing of this diss is critical. He could have come home, focused on rebuilding his career, stayed out of drama and stacked money, but he didn't. Instead, he jumped straight back into Memphis street politics, showing that the issues between Chopper Gang and Bread Gang run way deeper than most people realize. This wasn't just music beef anymore. It was streets, reputation, and power all colliding at once. With Pooh Shiesty back on the streets and making it clear he's not about keeping the peace, things are about to get extremely dangerous, gang. This isn't just rap beef anymore. We're talking about real street war between two of Memphis's most connected crews. Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang has deep ties across the city and the resources to handle almost anything. But Chopper Gang, with Big 30 and Pooh Shiesty leading the charge, has a reputation for being completely ruthless. These aren't rappers pretending to be gangsters. These are real street demons who just happen to rap. The plastic surgery diss might seem minor to outsiders, but in street culture, disrespect like this demands a response. Moneybagg can't let Shiesty roll up home from prison and immediately throw shade without consequences. His reputation and even his safety are on the line, and how he reacts matters more than ever. What we're seeing now is the reignition of one of Memphis hip-hop's most dangerous beefs, and Pooh Shiesty just poured gasoline on a fire everyone thought was long extinguished. The FDO diss wasn't just a rap bar, it was a declaration of war, signaling that Memphis could turn into a battlefield again. The tragic part? This beef started over loyalty and respect, the same values hip-hop claims to celebrate. But now, those values are driving a conflict that could destroy careers and even risk lives. With Pooh Shiesty back on the streets, fully ready to ride, and Moneybagg Yo's reputation hanging in the balance, this Memphis saga is about to hit a level of intensity the city hasn't seen in years. This situation is about to hit a deadly climax, gang. The streets are watching, and everyone knows that in Memphis, beefs like this don't just disappear, they get settled one way or another. And trust me, you don't want to miss how this plays out. If you're riding with us, now's the time to join the Rap Uncovered family. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and make sure you're locked in, because the streets never sleep, and we're just getting started. There are way more stories we've got to uncover, and every single day we're dropping heat that you won't hear anywhere else. Tomorrow's upload is going to be even crazier, even deeper, and absolutely unmissable. Smash that like button, share this video with all your homeboys, and drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know what you think about Big 30, Pooh Shiesty, Moneybagg, and how this beef is about to explode. We'll catch you in the next one right here at Rap Uncovered, where the truth of the streets lives. Stay tuned, because when the smoke clears, Memphis hip-hop might never be the same, and you'll want to be here to see it all go down.